Welcome back to Chips Unpacked, the podcast where we crack open the latest technology to see what makes it tick. I'm your host, Jason, and today we're diving deep into the world of wearable technology. You know, I was just looking at my smartwatch this morning, and it got me thinking, how did we get to the point where this tiny device on my wrist can monitor my heart rate, track my sleep, make payments, and even take calls? The evolution of wearables has been absolutely incredible, and today we're going to explore what's really powering these devices of tomorrow. But first, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Insightful Chat. You know, as we dive into complex semiconductor topics on this show, I often get questions from listeners who want to dig even deeper into specific technical details. Well, Insightful Chat is the perfect solution for that. It brings together the power of AI and the depth of the TechInsights platform, giving you instant, expert-level answers backed by decades of semiconductor data, IP analysis, process insights, and more. And here's the best part. It's completely free right now for all users. So whether you're researching component suppliers, analyzing patent landscapes, or trying to understand process technologies, Insightful Chat can give you the expert-level insights you need in seconds. We'll talk more about that later in the show. Now, I've got some fascinating insights to share with you today, thanks to a comprehensive new ebook from TechInsights called Inside the Future of Wearables: What's Powering the Devices of Tomorrow. And folks, this isn't just marketing fluff. This is real data from actual device teardowns and reverse engineering analysis. Let's start with the big picture. Wearable technology is evolving at breakneck speed. We're talking about devices that are becoming smaller, smarter, and more powerful all at the same time. Now, if you're like me, you might wonder, how is that even possible? How do you pack more functionality into less space while making the battery last longer? Well, the answer lies in what's happening under the hood. Or should I say, under the watch face. The semiconductor industry, the sensor technology, and the system design choices that OEMs are making are absolutely revolutionary. TechInsights has been doing something really cool. They've been literally taking apart the latest wearables from Apple, Samsung, and other leading brands. We're talking about detailed teardown analysis and reverse engineering to see exactly what components are being used and how they're being integrated. And I mean literally taking these devices apart, removing every screw, peeling back every layer, identifying every chip. It's the only way to really understand what's driving the performance improvements we're seeing in the market. Now, this research addresses three critical questions that anyone in the tech industry should be asking. First, which chipsets, sensors, and power solutions are actually winning design slots? I mean, there are dozens of component manufacturers out there, but who's really getting their parts into the devices that millions of people are wearing every day? Second, how are these OEMs, the original equipment manufacturers, balancing cost, performance, and power efficiency? This is the eternal triangle of product design, right? You want it cheap, you want it powerful, and you want the battery to last forever. Something's got to give, but how are companies like Apple and Samsung making these trade-offs? And third, what can component trends tell us about future market shifts? This is where it gets really interesting for anyone involved in product strategy or investment decisions. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds fascinating, but who actually needs this level of detail? Well, let me tell you, the applications are broader than you might think. If you're on an engineering team, this kind of teardown data shows you exactly what's driving device performance and miniaturization. You can see how the industry leaders are solving the same problems you're working on. For procurement and sourcing professionals, this is gold. You can benchmark component suppliers and improve your sourcing strategy based on real-world data about what's actually being used in successful products. And if you're in strategy and product development, these insights can tell you which technologies are trending and, more importantly, why they're trending. That's the kind of intelligence that can inform major product decisions and investment strategies. Let's talk about what's actually changing in these devices. The miniaturization we're seeing isn't just about making things smaller, it's about fundamental advances in semiconductor design, sensor integration, and power management. Think about it. Your smartwatch today probably has more computing power than a desktop computer from 20 years ago. But it runs for days on a battery the size of a coin. That's not magic. That's engineering, and it's the result of very specific choices about chipsets, power solutions, and system architecture. The TechInsights teardown analysis reveals exactly which companies are making the components that enable these advances. We're talking about the actual part numbers, the suppliers, the integration strategies, all the details that you can't get from a product announcement or marketing materials. You know, this is where our sponsor, Insightful Chat, becomes incredibly valuable. Let's say you're reading through this Wearables ebook, and you come across a specific semiconductor component or process technology that you want to understand better. Instead of spending hours searching through technical papers or trying to piece together information from multiple sources, you can simply ask Insightful Chat. For example, you might ask, what are the key advantages of the power management IC used in the latest Apple Watch? Or, how does Samsung's sensor integration approach compare to other wearable manufacturers? Insightful Chat can give you expert-level answers instantly, backed by the same comprehensive database that powers TechInsights professional analysis. And remember, this isn't just a basic AI chatbot. It's specifically trained on decades of semiconductor data, patent analysis, and process insights. It's like having a semiconductor expert available 24/7, and it's free for all users right now. But here's where it gets really interesting from a business perspective. These component choices aren't just technical decisions. They're strategic moves that can tell us a lot about where the market is heading. For example, if you see a major shift toward a particular type of sensor or a specific chipset architecture across multiple brands, that's a signal about what consumers will expect in future devices. It's also a signal about which component suppliers are positioned to benefit from market growth. The ebook combines this teardown data with expert market analysis to paint a picture of not just what's happening now, but what's likely to happen next. And in a market that's moving as fast as wearables, that kind of forward-looking intelligence is incredibly valuable. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like exactly the kind of detailed, technical analysis that usually costs a fortune. But here's the great news. TechInsights is offering this ebook completely free. That's right, you can get access to all of these teardown insights, component analysis, and market intelligence at no cost. All you need to do is visit techinsights.com and look for Inside the Future of Wearables, what's powering the devices of tomorrow. If you're already registered with the TechInsights platform, you can sign in and access the complete ebook right away. If you're new to TechInsights, the registration process is quick and straightforward. And while you're there, don't forget to check out Insightful Chat. It's the perfect complement to resources like this ebook, giving you the ability to dive deeper into any technical question that comes up as you're reading. You know, timing is everything in technology, and right now is a particularly exciting time to be following wearables. We're seeing the convergence of several trends: advances in health monitoring, improvements in battery technology, the rollout of 5G networks, and growing consumer acceptance of wearable devices for everything from fitness to payments to communication. The companies that understand what's really driving these advances, not just the marketing messages, but the actual technical and component-level innovations, those are the companies that are going to be best positioned for the next wave of growth in this market. As we wrap up today's episode, I want you to think about this. Every major technology shift creates winners and losers. In the smartphone era, we saw companies like Nokia and BlackBerry lose their dominant positions, while Apple and Samsung rose to the top. In the wearables era, we're still in the early stages of figuring out who the long-term winners will be. But one thing is certain: the winners will be the companies that make the smartest choices about components, system design, and user experience. And understanding those choices requires the kind of detailed, technical analysis that TechInsights provides in this ebook, combined with the instant access to expert knowledge that tools like Insightful Chat can provide. That's all for today's episode of Chips Unpacked. I hope you found these insights into the future of wearables as fascinating as I did. Don't forget to download your free copy of Inside the Future of Wearables, What's Powering the Devices of Tomorrow from TechInsights. Trust me, whether you're an engineer, a product manager, a sourcing professional, or just someone who's curious about how technology really works, this ebook has insights that will change how you think about wearable devices. And remember to try out Insightful Chat. It's free right now, and it's an incredible resource for getting expert-level answers to your semiconductor and technology questions instantly. Next time, we'll be diving into the latest automotive case study, another area where analysis is revealing some interesting finds. Until then, keep questioning what's really inside the technology that shapes our world. Chips Unpacked is produced by TechInsights and sponsored by Insightful Chat. For show notes, links, and more episodes, visit our website, techinsights.com, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms. I'm Jason. Thanks for listening to Chips Unpacked. And remember, the best insights come from looking inside.